Crest. Okay, morning everybody. Charlie, colleagues from Savills, my colleague Paul Dadswell from Savills. We're both town planners, so therefore we're technically not developers, we're planners, but we represent developers. We're here today to talk about an opportunity on land south of East Hoadley, but really what we're also here to do is to listen, and we've been sat quietly for a couple of hours listening to what everyone's been saying. We'll be here all afternoon as well. Paul's going to be here all day tomorrow. And the reason for that is that these types of events are really important, really well organised as well. As Richard said earlier, I've been involved in another event that he's organised over in Hampshire in Liverpool. I thought it was a great success. I think it's a great way to bring the community together and developers together to break down those traditional them and us barriers between the two. Now before Paul talks about the specifics of the site, just a few things from me. Neighbourhood planning, please do embrace it. It's an important tool to take forward and to get sites allocated for development. It is only so where positively done. The national guidance is quite clear. Positively produced neighbourhood plan is a strong material planning consideration. It's part of the development plan and it can be a force for real change. And we started to really hear that a second ago when the last speaker was talking about the potential opportunity that investment into the village can bring, potential new community facilities and the like. Where a plan is negatively reduced, that protection effectively goes away, because you have to remember you're working in a national environment, you have national plans, a national planning policy framework, a new one came out on Monday, only on Monday, the draft, which reiterates the importance of neighbourhood plans, but also outlines the importance of new housing and new development delivery across the whole of England. And everywhere in England has to grapple with this, about the delivery of new homes for people. That is all I want to say as an introduction piece. Paul is going to talk about the specifics of the site.
Hey everyone. So the site, we'll have a slide of the site next, but the site is owned and will be brought forward by the Bradford family. So they're a local family and they have a vested interest in the site and in the village, and they would be bringing the site forward and staying involved in the development through to completion. So they're not a developer who would be, or an owner who would be involved. Once they get planning permission, might sell off the site, and then the scheme may become watered down and you might not get all the benefits that you would expect up front. Crest Homes are the developer. They have a great track record of delivering high quality homes. These are a few examples of developments they've done. They've been developing for around 25 years. And as I say, both the Bradford family and Crest Homes would be heavily involved in the development from start to finish. Next slide, please. Thank you. So this is the site in the context of East Hoadley. So it's to the south of the Ryden site we heard about earlier, and the site boundary. I don't know if you can quite. Lovely, thank you.
So Ryden are there, and the site is here.
So yeah, so it's adjacent to the residential dwellings along South Street. It's bordered by woodland to the east and to the north, as well as to the south. There's a wastewater treatment plant here, and residential development to the west. So, access to the site is proposed onto South Street, and there's a footpath link along South Street into East Hoadley, as I'm sure you all know.
Paul, can you just outline the boundary more slowly, please?
Yeah, sorry. So it's so this is the Ryden site. The boundary of the site comes along here. It follows the course of the stream. I'm not sure if you will all be familiar with that. So it comes down here, up to the sewage treatment works, along here, through the middle of this field, and then up, and along the back there's a paddock bordering the site that props along South Street, and then along the back of these gardens here.
4 steps back, so you missed the laser.
Aha, there we are.
So the sunlight's streaming in, but the Ryden home scheme that we saw a moment ago was here. So you sort of share a southern boundary,
Yeah.
but then it comes all the way down that way. If I go back to your slideshow. Yeah.
So in terms of construction opportunities, the site is outside of the present settlement boundary, as defined in the Woodland Local Plan. This, however, is a fairly old local plan, and as we've heard, there's a new plan being prepared, so the settlement boundary may well change, and it may be influenced by the neighbourhood plan as well going forward. The site's well related to the services in the village. It's a sufficient distance away from any listed buildings within the village, and is some distance away from the conservation area. And it also, like any site in East Hoadley, benefits from not being in the High Road or the South Downs National Park. So that the context of that is that it's a the area is more suitable for development than areas in the district that fall within the High Weald AMB or South Downs National Park. So the most recent declaration of the Weald local plan being currently drafted is the 2015 preferred option. The preferred option allocated 190 houses to East Hoadley. Of course, this hasn't been taken forward, and this is still in draft form. We're expecting a new draft in June. But this is just so this figure isn't set in stone, but it gives an indication as to the likely amount of development that might be required in East Hoadley. So there's going to be a requirement for some homes in the village, and it's then up to this neighbourhood plan to shape where those dwellings go. It's identified, as we heard earlier, as a sustainable settlement in the preferred option, and the site provides an opportunity to deliver much needed housing which would be in keeping with the character of the area. So the vision is for the site is to realise a community-informed provision of much needed local housing that will unlock further community benefits and open spaces, and to ensure respectful design of character and identity which adds value to the village and its population. So as I said before, the developer and the owner are committed to developing the site, to taking it forward. It's proposed that any development on the site will be high quality, will be landscape led, it will be a residential scheme, and it will incorporate tree land avenues, sufficient levels of parking, affordable housing, at a policy compliant level. Our initial views are that the site can deliver up to 100 houses, so it's early stages yet, it might be a lower figure, and this is in 1 to 4 bedroom dwellings. And taking that 35% affordable housing level, it's about 35 affordable homes that will be provided. And these will be a range of types, sizes and tenures. And there's also a great opportunity on the site to provide public open space. We've heard about a need for youth and teenage play space. There might be a need for allotments. So there's an element of the scheme that we can set aside for public open space. And we'd like your views as to what should be provided in that space if the site was brought forward. So this is an initial master plan. So we have a single access road.
Sorry, quickly, they've made that, the north is now...
Sorry, yeah, I should clarify.
So if you want to tip your head that way.
We can, if it's easier, we can
I might do
shift it around.
Sorry, it's the sort of thing you get told off for at architecture school.
We it shows.
There we go. I'll just make that bigger. But that's the approach.
Yeah, so these are the residential units on South Street currently. The main village is up this direction. This is the road.
Yeah, so this way is now north. Yeah. So that's South Street.
So this
is
It's upside down.
This direction.
That's not. It's correct.
That's correct.
We all happy?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm so confusion when
yeah, so one spine road, and bear in mind this is a concept plan, it's nothing set in stone, but this is the sort of thing we want your views on. So one spine road with various arterial roads leading off it. So lots of trees, lots of parking or sufficient levels of parking. The woodland along here is to be protected, so we're going to provide a 15-metre minimum buffer. Or we will potentially provide a 15-metre minimum buffer. This area here is the bottom of the site. This is to be set aside potentially for play space, for allotments, for a youth area, and there are various play areas scattered throughout the development or in this concept plan. It's also an attenuation pond to deal with any surface water flooding. So this whole, although the site area is fairly large in that initial site plan, it should be borne in mind that this area is not accommodating any development. And our density here in this scheme is less than 20 dwellings per hectare to reflect the wider context and the existing development pattern of East Hoadley. So we've got sufficient buffer zones, plenty of parking.
I'll move you back on to your... the next one would be the wrong way around. So yeah, if you conclude that.
Okay, yeah, so I think that's pretty much it with this. So the benefits of the scheme, and this again is taking into account approximately 100 units, are a seal contribution of about 1.5 million. If a neighbourhood plan is adopted, then the parish council, the neighbourhood plan scheme, would get a percentage of that 25%. So if a plan was adopted and the site was allocated through that, 375,000 of that would come to the parish council. The new homes bonus would generate about 380,000 for Wilton District Council. We've calculated about 55 permanent and indirect jobs would be created through the development of the site for about 100 homes. As I say, we deliver a range of affordable homes and we explore all options for delivering those affordable homes. So whether that's through community build, there's a number of options and we'll explore those going forward. The buffer zone we're providing also provides a great opportunity to offer ecological enhancement and biodiversity enhancement. And as I say, we have those public open spaces, so we have play areas throughout the development, and potentially an allotment of war games area. Again, we can shape that, and that's the kind of thing we want your feedback on, as well as just the general layout scheme and generally whether you think the site's suitable. And finally, in terms of timeframes, the site is available for development and can be brought forward immediately as soon as a plan is adopted. So it will allocate how, or it will provide hazards towards the start of the plan period and provide a bit of certainty going forward to you as residents as to where development is going to go, so you don't have the fear that there might be a new development come in that you're not sure about. And it would provide homes for local people. We've had a lot of people speak about the need for affordable homes and the need for people to live in the village. A few people have said the village doesn't need development, but clearly all the people are saying that we need more homes where your children can live. You do need development in the village, and this is a great opportunity to provide it with a sufficient level of affordable housing and sufficient levels of off-site benefits that it's funded for it. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much.